Hey there, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to Stars Aligned Oracle YouTube channel. Cat Star here with your collective monthly March 2022 reading. As a reminder, my readings are for entertainment and are general in nature. They may or may not resonate for everybody, so please do take what is for you and leave what isn't. For those of you liking and sharing the videos, thank you so much. It does help others to be able to see these messages that might not otherwise. Now, before we get into the video, you might notice this little silver platter here and this bag. In this bag, I have some cubes that I have made myself and some that I found at an antique shop recently. And so I thought it would be fun at the end of the reading to pull a couple of those and see what we might get. There might be a number, there might be letters, there might be words, see kind of what kind of messages might come through. I did this also on the Aquarius March 2022 monthly reading, so you can check that out as well if you haven't already, and I will link it at the end of the video. So let's go ahead and see what is coming in for the collective for March. We're also going to get a card at the end that could be a focus point, a mantra for all of us for March 2022. So let's go ahead and get a couple of tarot cards out here and see what jumping cards, always jumping cards. Oh, okay. That one just came right out. Let's get two more here. Ooh. All right, actually, let's get three more so we have kind of an even spread here. Okay, way too many cards. All right, just one more. Just one more, Spirit, just one more. Okay. Oh, and again, jumping cards. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and check in here. Let's see. So right off the bat, you have sensitivity coming in here for March, collective. So some of you are going to be kind of in your feels during this time, or for some of you, it's actually coming through that you may be getting kind of a feedback from people that is kind of indicating that you're being too sensitive around things. So be aware that that might be something coming in during this month, more so just for the simple fact that for some reason what's coming through is that you being open to being emotional or allowing your emotions to kind of show is kind of triggering some people. Now you also have this Nine of Swords coming in here, and that Nine of Swords is that potentially some of you are overthinking, some of you are overanalyzing to the point where you're having some bad dreams. So that sensitivity, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing, can also kind of come in as a bit of self-sabotage for some, and in certain instances, certain situations. So if some of you are feeling like you're kind of in analysis paralysis, overthinking, or kind of really just taking things on and worrying and having a hard time focusing due to heightened sensitivity, it may be a good thing to kind of question where that extra sensitivity is coming in. There's nothing wrong with sensitivity. There's nothing wrong with emotion. There's nothing wrong with, kind of having your heart on your sleeve. And there are times where it can be stress and worry and fear that is bringing all of that about, or being spread too thin, having too much on your plate that can be bringing that about. So knowing how to balance that and or allow for the things that are maybe not a priority or not as important to kind of, take a back seat and prioritize can help if it's that sensitivity that's kind of overly emotional and it's causing you some kind of almost heartache, because you also have this Three of Swords coming in here. So if that over kind of analyzing, overthinking, being in your head is causing stress that is creating this emotional kind of attachment or this extreme sensitivity. It can cause that little bit of heartbreak with that Three of Swords. And it's really time to take a look at that during March and notice where that's happening and potentially why that's happening and where you might be able to lighten your load, because it can make you overall kind of not feel very well, not feel very good when you're having that heightened emotion, or when you're feeling that everything is really kind of crumbling or tumbling in on you, right? Or your thoughts are always racing around all of the things that need to be done, all of the things that you need to be doing, or places you need to be, or projects that need to be finished. All of that kind of stuff can bring up a heightened sensitivity. So tune into that and notice if you're kind of doing or creating that yourself in an inadvertent way, not consciously or not purposely, but adding more to that. Now, again, as I said, being sensitive and showing emotions and having emotions is all perfectly well, right? We all have sensitivity, we all have emotions, and there's nothing that is wrong or bad about that. But also noticing if it's causing you heartbreak or over analyzing or overthinking or nightmares, or right, and if there's something that can be done if it's gotten to be too much, or you feel too spread thin or have too many things on your plate, where you might be able to adjust or shift things, or even delegate things out if that's something that you can do, so as you're not feeling that extra kind of emotion or that extra sensitivity. Because with sensitivity and heightened sensitivity, sometimes we can also have that frustration, and we can sometimes lash out, and that can also cause that overthinking, or why did I say that, why did I do that, and that feeling of heartbreak or despair. And Spirit's indicating that you can really, really tune into that and kind of re-evaluate the priorities, what's important or most important, because generally a lot of things are important. We have things on our plate, we have projects, we have, all kinds of different things going on, just to reevaluate what to prioritize and what to put first, and maybe set some goals, maybe set some steps, right? This can be and that can be, or write out to-do lists if that resonates with you, and then do what you can while still being able to maintain a little bit of balance, okay? And then you also have wellness coming in here. And with that wellness, this is really getting kind of that foothold with the overthinking, the overanalyzing, the worry, right? That potential feeling of despair and heartbreak. Getting a handle on that is really going to positively affect the way that you're feeling and the way that your body is feeling. Sometimes we hold that emotion in, right? And it is great to have emotions. That is one of my biggest things. If you feel like you need to cry, cry. Let that out. Don't hold that emotion in your body, because over time it's going to potentially well up and burst out. And then a lot of times you have those, why did I say that? Why did that happen? Why did I end up doing that? Why did I have those actions or do that, or right, that sort of thing. And so releasing that, I really am a firm believer personally myself that crying and laughing are the best medicine, because it does release emotion. It lets that emotion out of the body, and it also lets it out kind of the heart, right? Because you're not holding that anymore. You've let yourself feel it, you've let yourself move through it, and or laugh with it, which creates this beautiful kind of synchronicity or balance within the body. So by doing that, you are actually creating a deeper wellness within yourself, even when you don't really notice it, okay? And sometimes we don't notice until there's kind of definite side effects, is the word that's coming through here. When we feel good, and sometimes we quit doing the things that help us to feel good. And then when we feel bad, then we notice that we feel bad. And then we're wondering why we're feeling bad, but we sometimes don't remember that when we were feeling good, we were doing this, we were maybe meditating, maybe getting the proper sleep, having a more balanced diet, you know, having an outlet in some sort, that sort of thing. And then when we don't feel good, then we notice we don't feel good, but we often don't remember that maybe we haven't been eating such a balanced diet. Maybe we haven't been allowing ourselves to kind of vent or have those emotions, right? Or maybe we haven't been meditating or exercising, those type of things. And so really tuning into kind of the whole balancing of yourself within that sensitivity, those emotions, and releasing those, and also within that wellness. How are you feeling? Check in with yourself. How are you feeling in March? And really notice what you're doing when you're feeling really, really good, right? As I said, sometimes we notice when we're not feeling good, or often we notice when we're not feeling good, but we don't always pay attention, almost like we take for granted when we are feeling good, when things are going amazing. So March for the collective, it was really tuning into what is working and what is creating that super joyful and good feeling throughout, whether that's within the emotions or emotional body, whether that's within the thinking mind, whether that is within your overall wellness, however that is, noticing and tuning into what feels good and doing more of that to create that overall wellness. And you have the Ace of Wands coming in here and the Justice card. So the Justice card is, at least for me, Justice, I was thinking Judgment for a minute, is really tuning into the things that are going in your favor, which is exactly what we were just talking about. The Ace of Wands is that ability to manifest and that desire, that compassion, that inspiration for all things that feel good. So really tuning into all things that feel good, focusing on what feels good, and really kind of highlighting that stuff, putting that stuff as the priorities during this month. And you'll notice this shift, this overall balancing that brings more of that to your attention, brings more of that for you to focus on, to continue to create that beautiful balance in your life. And then you also have the the Five of Swords and the Knight of Wands coming in here. So the Five of Swords is, you know, paying attention to, or like the little details, but it's also projection. So if you're noticing you're not potentially feeling well, or you're extra emotional, as we talked about before, sometimes we can blow up on other people, or if we're not dealing with the emotions, sometimes the emotions kind of erupt out, and then we get a little bit upset with ourselves, or we can have hindsight, right? Hindsight's 2020, and we can be projecting that out. So this is really, with that Five of Swords, that projection, those little details that are really probably potentially driving us mad, or driving you mad during March, are the things that you're going to want to look at and kind of see what it is that is causing that potential increased sensitivity or emotion, or a potential disruption to the overall wellness or joy or happiness that you are experiencing during this time. Because with that Five of Swords, that projection, but it also is really kind of a tension, like tension in the air. And if you're feeling that, then that is something that potentially needs to be looked at in March, so that you can refocus your attention onto all that brings you joy. And then you also have the Knight of Wands coming in here. And that Knight of Wands is really kind of having that courage, that fearlessness, to be able to do the work, to be able to notice that, right? To actually take a step back and not have just a knee-jerk reaction, but really, really be able to step back and think about if this is something that is just feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling kind of pulled too thin, right? And if whatever is coming up is triggering something within you that is taking you away from that joyful or that happy focused place, focusing in on that wellness, focusing in on feeling very balanced. If it's taking that away, then to really refocus when you notice that. Okay, now let's go ahead and see what this little potential mantra or extra focus point for the month is for everyone. Spiritual alignment puts my manifestation into motion. So what we focus on, we get. We tend to focus, unfortunately, whether it's conditioning, environment, upbringing, just beliefs, belief limitations, perceptions, we tend to focus on what we don't want. So focusing on that, noticing when you're feeling good and focusing on things that continue to bring that good feeling, that joy, that happiness is what is going to bring more of that to you. So spiritual alignment puts my manifestation into motion. Yes, of course, lucky stars. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to bring this little guy out. We got these little things. We're going to shake them up a little bit, and we're going to see kind of what we get here. Oh, well, look at that. We're going to get a couple more. That's not very many. Let's get a couple more here. All right. So we got a star. We got the number 5 and the number 20. So potentially the 5th and the 20th of March might have some meaning. There may be an unexpected surprise or celebration during those times. We also have the initials Q, F, and M. Sorry, it was the little dots on the bottom are to signify which one is the bottom. So Q, F, and M. So if those are your initials or somebody you know, there may be something coming in, and or this message is just really, really directed towards that person. And we have the word the, we have the word we have her, and we have back, and we have the star. Okay, so we star her back, we stars, we the stars are back. All right, so it could be that the stars are aligning, the stars are back, that feeling, right, that feeling, the star back, we, her. So however that resonates for you, if it does, take that as you will. All right. As always, I do intend this message resonated with you and for you. If it did, please do hit that like button and share this video. It does help others to be able to see these messages that might not otherwise. Also hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, as well as checking that all notifications box so you're notified every time I upload new readings. As always, I do wish you lots of hope, lots of joy, and lots of love with all of your current and future endeavors. And I'll see you in the next reading.